It is April the 9th, 2025, and we still have a lot happening in our world today. We're going to talk about tariffs. Now, please forgive me. I'm still under the weather. I'm better than I was yesterday, but I just got this lingering cough now. So I'm going to push through, though. I'm going to push through. I'm a trooper. I'm a trooper. I was telling my producer, I said, my current job, what I'm doing a podcast and stuff, if I was, it makes it a little bit easier to come and do it, but it's hard because I have to do a lot of talking. Oh my goodness. I have to do a lot of talking. But the way I was feeling yesterday and the day before yesterday, Monday and Tuesday, I was sicker than a dog. I mean, it was just all congestion up here. I was miserable, to be honest with you. I don't even know why I'm sharing this information with you. I really don't. Because, I really don't share that much. I guess because I'm coughing here and I'm just giving you an explanation. But I told my producer, I said, if I was going to like a 9 to 5 and I would have to drive in, there would be no way that I could do it. See, here I can just walk over to my studio and sit down in a chair and, try to go through it without coughing and stuff. But I love what I'm doing. I'm so blessed to be doing what I'm doing. And I know God put me in this position to do what I'm doing. Doesn't mean it's not going to be easy, right? Doesn't mean it's not going to be hard. Right? It's not going to be hard. I said it's not going to be easy. You can tell I'm under the weather still, right? It's not going to be easy, right? It's not going to be easy, and it is going to be hard. I'm so up under it. But I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I want to thank all of you for hitting the thumbs up. And I do have information I want to share with you. And I'm going to talk about these tariffs. And again, I'm in the learning process about these tariffs. I've always been transparent about if I don't know something and it is just my opinion, I will voice that out. That is just my opinion based on the stuff that I'm seeing and based on the stuff I'm observing. And then, I will share my opinion. I've always made that clear. So when it comes to these tariffs, I'm learning. It's a learning process. Many of you probably already got it all like down. You probably know everything about the tariffs, the ins and out, what's good about it, what's bad about it. You probably know all of the details on that. Well, I don't. And that's the reason me talking about it is the reason why I start learning more about it. Me bringing information, content to you. And my objective here is to show you information that I'm seeing to help you get the better understanding and to help myself get a better understanding. You and I, we are learning this together. We are learning this together, you and I, right? We're in this together. And I don't regret my vote for President Trump. I still don't. I'm so thankful that President Trump is doing what he's doing. And with these tariffs that President Trump is doing, no one has ever done it before like this. Now they've done tariffs in the past. Yeah, sure. It's not President Trump he didn't create the tariff wheel, right? He didn't create it. But President Trump, he's utilizing it. And thus far, regardless of all the smoke that's coming out of the liberal left, regardless of what they're saying, these tariffs are actually starting to make a difference. The auto industry is one of the biggest ones. The auto industry. Well, I want you to, and the most thing, I guess, one of the things that I have recognized is that the radical left, they're in support of China more than they are the United States of America. They really are. I mean, they're more concerned about how this is going to affect China than it is us here in America. And something else dawned on me. Let me lay this out for you. And please, if you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up for me. Please share this video because someone else needs to know this information. Something else dawned on me by looking at the way they're pushing the tariffs and the way they're talking about China. How do they make the products in China? How much are the people getting paid in China to make the products? To give an example, a pair of sneakers. A pair of sneakers that costs $150, right? I remember back in the day, a pair of sneakers here in America, when they were really good sneakers, they were like $75. $75. This was, years and years ago, of course. But then these same sneakers, to get good quality sneakers, they became $150. But these good quality sneakers are not being made in the United States of America. They're being made in Vietnam. They're being made in China. And then they're shipping them here. My question again to everyone that's watching, and y'all let me know in the comments. I have the comments up here. What are they paying the people in these different countries to make the products that we are paying for top dollars? Our top dollar going towards. How much are they paying them? See, that's the question. What dawned on me is that the Demoncrats here in America, they not only like slave labor here in America when it comes to the illegals, they love slave labor no matter where it is on the planet. The Demoncrats love slave labor because slave labor means it's cheaper for us to purchase. So if you don't have to pay people livable wages to make the things that you want, guess what? You get it cheaper. That's wrong. That's wrong. I don't care where it is on the planet. That is absolutely wrong. And and people here seem to want to look the other way, knowing that this is factual information. This is no secret. There's no secret that they use slave labor to make these products in different countries. Everyone is aware of it. Everybody is aware of it. And they said, well, but it's cheaper here for us. So they have slave labor, for example, in China. Then they ship the product here to the United States of America. And because of the little bit of tariffs that we had on it, it brings the price up just a little bit. So they make it in China. Excuse me. They make it in China for $20. It gets here because of the tariffs. They add another $20 to it. And then the stores, because it's their product, their name brand, they tack on another 50, 75% to it. And then it becomes a $150 pair of tennis shoes. Y'all get where I'm going at. And then the Demoncrats, they complain about capitalism in the United States of America. But you know what? When it gets here, you get to set the price on what you want it to be. That's capitalism. And me, the consumer, I can choose to buy it or not to buy it. That's part of capitalism. And then other companies should be able to spring up to make money. This is what happens. If you're selling a pair of tennis shoes and then this person over here is selling a pair of tennis shoes and they have it cheaper, same tennis shoe, I'm going to go buy it cheaper. That's capitalism. Another thing that's happening here is that the Democrats don't want capitalism to exist in other countries. Because if capitalism exists in other countries, that means that the products that we make here in America, be it beef, be it pork, be it a handkerchief, they don't want us to be able to sell it in other countries because I'm working on this cough. Please forgive me. Because of the tariffs, because of capitalism, because of capitalism. They don't want Democrats hate capitalism. Is there any Democrats that you know that love capitalism? Well, actually, they do love it because they love filling their pockets with money, but they love socialism too, because if you make the money and they didn't make the money that you're making, they want to take your money from you and put it in their pockets or go spend it on something else that has nothing to do with anything. But they, for the most part, they disregard capitalism. They hate capitalism. They want you to make money, but then they want to come and take the money that you make. Does that make sense? Does it make sense? So the Democrat Party, they're more in favor of China than they are the American people. They're more in favor of China than they are the American people. Who elected these people? And the people that elected them, and I'm talking about like Adam Schiff, right? I'm talking about Jasmine Crackpot. I'm talking about AOC. Do the people that vote for these people actually know that they don't actually care about them as constituents? Do they actually know this? Or is it just that Or is it that they just believe the hype that the left, the radical left, has been telling them? Republicans bad. Republicans evil. Republicans racist. Republicans don't want you to have anything. When the Republicans are the ones, now look, granted, Republicans are not angels. There's a lot of Republicans that I call rhinocrats. I call them rhinocrats. That's what I call them. Because they're basically Demoncrats, but they're called rhinocrats because they're Republican in name only. Rhinocrats. That's what I call them. And there's a whole bunch of them. But with that said, for the most part, because of President Trump and what he has done, President Trump has actually brought the Republican back to his original status, or status, however you want to look at it. President Trump has actually done that. And using these tariffs is another great example of what President Trump is doing. I'm telling you right now, as much as the radical liberals keep screaming, how much they keep trying to convince everybody that we regret our vote for President Trump, I don't care if eggs go up a little bit. I don't care. Well, I mean, I do care, but I don't care. I understand what President Trump is doing now. When it comes to these tariffs, I understand. The Democrats want us to constantly get abused and used. And President Trump is saying no more. He's saying it to the entire world. And let me say this before I play this clip for you, because this young man here he's on fire. Stephen Miller, he's on fire. What President Trump is doing, they're saying that no president ever in the history of this nation has ever done this. And the interesting thing is that President Trump has been talking about doing this very thing for over 40 years. You remember he was on with Oprah Winfrey? He was on with her, and he was talking about tariffs then. He was talking about how China is taking advantage of us, how all these other countries are taking advantage of us, and President Trump is bringing it to an end. He is doing miraculous things. And of course, the left, they don't like it. The left, they hate it. They hate to see it. They hate to see it. So if you haven't already, I'm looking in the comments. Please hit the thumbs up for me. Hit the thumbs up. I see you there on Rumble. I see you there on YouTube. I'm asking you, please bless me by hitting the thumbs up, because it really does help out with the algorithms. If everyone that tunes in, that has already tuned in, if you hit that thumbs up right now, it will cause more people to tune in to see the information that I'm sharing. So please hit the thumbs up for me. The same thing on Pilled. Hit that red pill. Hit that red pill. Listen, this is good.
I believe that China will be forced very soon to come to the table for the simple reason that China's economy is completely dependent on its exports to the United States and to the West. China has built its entire industrial strategy since its entrance into the World Trade Organization on being able to sell highly subsidized, currency manipulated, dumped goods into U.S. markets. It is an industrial strategy from China to product dump strategically to take out American steel, to take out American aluminum, to take out core American defense industries and defense needs, so that we're reliant on China.
So if we know this information, because he's laying it out, it's no secret that this is what they've been trying to do. Same thing when it goes to something simple. I would consider something simple. It's really not simple, but something as simple as ibuprofen. Apparently, and I just learned this over the past year, that the ibuprofen that we have in the stores come from China. So just imagine for 1 second here, if China decides to completely go rogue, and because of the tariffs, let's just say China decides to say, well, you know what? I think this is the time that we go to war with America. And because we've been making most of your steel, your aluminum, and all of your pharmaceutical products, we're going to cut it all off. Or if they allow the pharmaceutical products to still continue to come from China during a time of war, is it possible that they might do something to it? What do you think about that? Y'all let me know in the comments. What do you think about that? Or is it possible that they already are doing something to it? I don't know. I'm not a pharmacist, just to be clear here, but I'm just asking the questions here. And a lot of times you get in trouble for asking questions because then it get people wheels to start turning. He's essentially talking about this very thing. China has controlled so much of the products that we have in this country. We're not self-sufficient. We're not. We're dependent on China for a lot of things. And President Trump is saying no more. Thank God President Trump is there. Can you imagine if Kamala Harris was there? They would give China more.
And what's happening here is that China is now discovering for the first time that they have met an American president who is not going to be intimidated, who's not going to be bullied, who's not going to be coerced, who's going to stand up for our essential security needs.
Who's going to stand up for America. Our essential security needs. And it just goes right into everything I was just saying. This is what this is about. And again, I'm learning so much about these tariffs. I'm learning so much more about them. And put it this way, if the radical left is complaining about it, that means it's a positive thing. Because the left, I'm going to go as far as say the entire left as a whole, there might be a couple stragglers in there and be like, yeah, what President Trump is doing is positive, but they're going to be silent. They're not going to say anything because they don't want their party to come down on them. I get it. I understand. But the entire left, and you have the left, right? You have the left. I guess this is your left. If you're watching, your left. You have the left, and then you have everything that falls up under that. Demoncrats, socialism, communism, liberalism, all the isms, everything that you could think of wicked exists under the left. Everything that is against America, anti-America, anti-truth, anti-man, anti-woman, everything, all of that exists under the left, right? Under your left. All of that exists under there. And we've seen that. That's part of the reason why they lost this past November, because of everything that they're representing, everything that they're supporting, even slavery. In the year 2025, the Demoncrats are still about slavery. Right after the Civil War, the Demoncrats were complaining, saying, who's going to pick our crops? Right after the Civil War, the Democrats were complaining, who's going to do our chores? Who's going to clean our homes? Who's going to do our laundry? Who's going to do the things that we're not accustomed to doing? I was reading this book by Booker T. Washington. Very good read. And I learned so much from reading that book. And let me just tell you before I play this in there, and it will stick with me because I never thought about it. And I didn't know until I read it. There's a part in there after the Civil War, the Democrat white slave master called all of the slaves to come to the big house. There was a big announcement that needed to be made. And everyone was going to the big house. That's what it's called, the big house. And they didn't know, right? They didn't know what they were going to be told. Well, the Democrat slave master told all of the black people that were his slaves that you are now free. You're free to go. What I learned from reading that is that the slaves that were there, they didn't leave because they didn't know where to go. Of course, you had a very few, some, wandered off, primarily men. They wandered off because they could just walk away at that point. Some of them wandered off, and some of them probably took their families, depending. But a great deal of them went back to their huts that had dirt floors. This was in the book, Booker T. Washington. I encourage everyone to read it if you can. But the thing that really stood out to me, other than the dirt floors in their huts, is that they didn't leave and they continued to work the fields. And the Democrat white slave masters, they were saying that if they were to leave, we wouldn't know what to do. We wouldn't know how to attend to the field. They wouldn't know how to do just simple things because all the black people were doing it. It's the same thing that's happening today in the year 2025. They're saying that, bringing all these jobs that they're doing over in China, that the American people won't know how to do them, and American people wouldn't want to do them because it's like an assembly line of putting a screwdriver into a cell phone. And because of that, Americans don't know how to put screws into a phone. Essentially is what they're saying, and they know it is slave labor. And it's the same thing with the tennis shoe. Same thing with selling shoes. Demoncrats love slave labor because they get things cheaper. I want it to end. If that means that for something that Will Johnson wants, that means I'm going to have to save more pennies in order to get it. Does that make sense to you? Does that make me a bad person because I don't want someone else to do slave labor? No, pay them livable wages. Let's end that. You don't hear any Demoncrats talking about ending slave labor. None of them. Because they want to be the beneficiaries of the slave labor. They have no problems with it. Listen to this.
The spot here, but just ballparking. If a $100 pair of sneakers costs $100 made currently, whether it's in China, Vietnam, or Indonesia, if it was made in the U.S., how much would that pair of sneakers cost?
$300 or $400 easily. Yeah. In fact, we've even just looked at the tariffs coming into place tonight at midnight. A $150 pair of running shoes will be $230, right? And that's coming from overseas sources without U.S. labor.
Tariffs.
That's just with the tariffs. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Folks will feel that.
And every single time they leave out the key detail. Can you explain why? You see, they're talking about the tariffs. Well, how come the shoes aren't that right now? Let's talk about that. How come the shoes are not $200, $300 now? Can we talk about that? Why are they not that? Because of the slave labor. They always leave out the key details. They don't want you to know it because, look, hey, those Jordans, those, what are the LeBrons? I don't even know how much LeBron James shoes are. I don't even know if anybody even buy LeBron James shoes, but I know people bought many Jordan tennis shoes. But those Jordan tennis shoes that are $150, in some cases are $220, depending on the year and the make or whatever.
No, they now have a Jordan Barbie doll.
They have
not Jordan. LeBron James. They're coming out with a Barbie doll for him.
With LeBron James?
Yeah.
Does he have on a dress?
No.
Why not? Wouldn't surprise me.
It should have like a button on the back where he whines.
Or have it to where he falls down in the fetal position.
Yeah.
Like he's crying.
Yeah.
That would be pretty good. But y'all see my point? I'm looking in the comments. Y'all see my point? The Democrats love slave labor. They have not changed. It's still the same party. So when y'all hear them and you're having a conversation with people out there, because they still use it where the party switch. I went to the Tesla dealership event where they were protesting against Tesla, Elon Musk. And hold on one second. I got some hot tea here. Hopefully it'll help. But I went there and they're out there complaining, of course. And of course they bring up trying to say this whole thing about how the party have switched. And then I reminded them that they don't want the slave labor to leave. They don't want the slave labor to leave. Like, who's going to pick our crops? And their eyes just got big because they never had anyone tell them that. I said, so you're still the same party. You just don't realize it. And then when they see someone that looks like me, they're like, oh my goodness, he's telling me something I haven't heard before. We do want them to be here to pick their crops. We did want people that look like him to pick our crops. There was no switch. There was no switch. And I see people say, I am okay. For the past 3 days, the past 2 days, I was really miserable. Yesterday and the day before, I was really bad. I got like allergies going on here. It's pretty bad here for me. But I'm doing a lot better today, okay? I just got this lingering cough. That's all it is now. It's just a lingering cough. So Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Someone said, Buzzy said I should drink warm 7-Up. I don't know if I could do that. That's like Alka-Seltzer. I can't do Alka-Seltzer either. Ooh. But I consider it. Because I want the cough to go away. So I'm not knocking you. Thank you so much for the information. But hey, before I get to this next one, let me tell y'all right now that I still need your help. I still need your help to keep my website up, to keep my website going. And I've been asking everybody if you could go to givesendgo.com/website. If we can put it in the lower third down there, givesendgo.com/website. Wonderful people have been already supporting me. You can see it. I put the bare minimum for me to keep my website up. And just like the other day, I was asking people to help me get my new megaphone, and my new megaphone is here. It is here, and it's so awesome. And I want to thank everyone for allowing me to get it. I have it where I have Trump's voice on here now.
Why don't you play it?
I have Trump's voice on the megaphone. And the reason why I bring it up, because I did a Give Send Go asking people to help me get a new megaphone. I call it a megaphone. It's not a megaphone. When we hold it, it's a megaphone, right? So I asked people to help me get a new megaphone, and people blessed me to help me do that. So I'm now just asking people if you help me, bless me, but help me keep my website up. And my producer wants me to play it. So I have, and this was actually pretty cool. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone to help me getting this. So I'm gonna play some of this for you real quick. This is pretty awesome. All right, you ready? You ready? Listen to this one.
Radical left lunatics.
Hold on. All right, here we go.
Radical left lunatics.
And I can turn it up here. It's actually connected to my phone.
Radical left lunatics.
They're going to get so triggered.
Oh my goodness, they're going to be so triggered by it.
Is so blessed because this weekend they're having another liberal.
They're having another one.
Was it temper tantrum? Yeah,
they're having another. So I get to go show them how you bless me to go bless them with Trump's voice of all people.
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
Right? I mean, come on. How awesome is that? How awesome is that? And then, of course,
China.
And then this one right here.
We will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again.
Mm-hmm.
We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Oh my goodness, it's so good. It's so good.
Radical left lunatics.
So I get to go play this weekend. And this time I have an operating megaphone that will get to work, and I get to play Trump's beautiful voice for them. So can you imagine how they're going to react? So please, if you could, go to my website, or it's on the top page of my website as well. But if you would, please go to givesendgo.com/website. Help me keep my website up. I have my beautiful t-shirts on there. Trump is your president again. I have that would be there. So I'm asking you, please, if you find it in your heart, go to my website. It's right there. If you go to my website, unitedamericanfirst.com, you can see the link right there, or right there, givesendgo.com/website, to help me keep my website up. Now, the Demoncrats, they would love to see Will Johnson fail. They would love it. Demons want to see Christians fail. So I'm asking you, as God's people, please bless me by going to my website, or going to, while it's still up, or going to givesendgo.com. People have already blessed me there. Shannon, did you want to say that some of the list of names, the ones that we have that bless me? because I love acknowledging people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just acknowledging people who have blessed me. Some people, you like, if you don't want me to say your name, by all means. But I'm gonna put. You know what? One time, someone sent me a message angry with me because I publicly said thank you to somebody.
Yeah, you can do it.
And that's a little weird. Yeah, you can do it anonymous. If you don't want me to say thank you publicly, I mean that's fine. I get it.
Yeah.
Right now, they were trying to equate it to like me doing something good for some people and then me going out publicizing it. That's not. I don't ever do that. I think me going out there, going live and doing a megaphone, that's me doing a lot of good because I'm fighting against the evils in this world, right? That's me going out there. But when I do something that I want God to see, I don't ever tell anybody. So as far as you know, I haven't done nothing because I don't tell anybody, right? I don't tell anybody. But you want to say the name, Shannon? The ones that have blessed us?
Yeah, so yesterday, Lala.
Thank you, Lala.
Blessed us. And then GLO blessed us. One was an anonymous giver, which is great.
You.
Thank you. And then Cynthia Duraco has blessed you as well, Will.
Thank you. We're almost there, everybody. We're almost there. We're running out of time, though. So please, if God puts it on your heart.
It goes down next week if we don't.
Yeah, if God puts it on your heart, please. I'm a little desperate here because I want to try to keep my website up because a lot of people go to my website. But my website, because of Google, they took the monetization away from that. I mean, they hit me hard. So I'm truly viewer supported. I'm supported by you, God's people. Okay, if we can, let's get back to a little bit more of these tariffs. And I think Kevin O'Leary, he's 100% on point. I think that China should have to, you know what, let's go from, I think what President Trump said, 104% tariffs last night at midnight to 400%. And China needs to bend the knee. Do you disagree? Y'all let me know in the chat. Should China have to bend the knee? Because the Demoncrats, they're going to fight for China, while the rest of us are fighting for America. President Trump, he's fighting for America. But listen to the way he explains this.
104% tariffs on China are not enough. I'm advocating 400%. I do business in China. They don't play by the rules. They've been in the WTO for decades. They have never abided by any of the rules they agreed to when they came in for decades. They cheat, they steal IP. I can't litigate in their courts. They take product, technology, they steal it, they manufacture it, and sell it back here. Never has an administration
400% tariffs. What would that look like?
I want Xi on an airplane to Washington to level the playing field. It's just not about tariffs anymore. Nobody has taken on China yet, not the Europeans, no administration for decades. As someone who actually does business there, I've had enough. I speak for millions of Americans who have IP that have been stolen by the Chinese.
For everyone that's watching, do you know what when he says IP? Now, he doesn't actually say it, but I'm pretty sure he's talking about intellectual property. He's saying that they're stealing intellectual property. They reproduce it, and then they turn around and sell it. And there's nothing you can do about it because China's making it. What are you going to do? Go sue someone in China? China be like, nope, no, thank you. He's 100% correct. And President Trump is putting his foot down.
I have nothing against the Chinese people. They brought great literacy, art, and tech to the world. The government cheats and steals. And finally, an administration, you may not like Trump, you may not like his style or his rhetoric. Finally, an administration that puts up and says enough. 400% tariffs tomorrow morning. He'll tell you why. Xi can only stay the supreme leader if people are employed. If we wipe out any business there, because we are still 39% of all consumables on earth and 25% of the world's GDP, America is the #1 economy on earth with all the cards. We will not have that forever. It's time to squeeze Chinese heads into the wall now.
Well, hold on a second, Kevin. Well, I hear you, but hold on.
You hear? Hold on. We need to protect China. Democrats always come to the rescue of everybody or anything that is against the law, that's against the truth, or against the United States of America. They run to the rescue every time. I mean, listen to her.
If we're talking about people, the average consumer, not necessarily the head honchos of businesses all across the globe, can they withstand the pressure of that sort of tax on the goods?
Short-lived.
It is short-lived. It is short-lived. And I guarantee, if you were just like me, you were willing to go through a little bit for our children and our children's children's future. I'm willing to bet, to go on a limb, that people that love this country willing to go through this battle. And we know that it's not going to be easy. Even what President Trump is doing right now, it's not going to be easy. I don't think anybody with rational thinking, common sense minds is going to be like, well, it's going to be easy. Everything's going to be handed to us. No. See, Democrats have been putting that message out there forever.
And you know what?
That everything's be handed to you.
The consumers are really going to drive the price. Listen, if we're importing something and they want to continue making the profit that they're profiting, which is huge. You know, if they're selling something for $2 and all of a sudden it's going to go up to $6 and people don't buy it at $6, they're going to be forced to put it back down to $2 if they want to sell it at all.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how it works. And when it's also competitive with what we're selling here in America, that's really what drives these prices. It's not, tariffs does have a little bit to do with it, but the decision is going to come down to what we're going to pay for it. Because if we don't buy it, they're not going to sell it.
Exactly. Excuse me. Exactly.
But what's your timeline compared to, you don't know the average American's timeline, what they can actually survive. There's people right now who can't survive
400% tomorrow morning, cheese on an airplane to Washington to cut a deal.
If President Trump made it 400% on the tariffs, he would get on the airplane to go visit President Trump.
Listen.
He was like, oh, how do we stop this? How do we prevent this?
Yeah, I mean, China is our biggest competitor.
We hold the cards. We hold the cards.
Well, for far too long,
Trump is playing. Trump, I'm telling you, Trump holds the cards in his hand. Go ahead, Shannon.
Yeah, for a long time, China has dictated a lot of things with America, only because through weakness of who is running America. But Trump is like, you know what? No longer. China is literally our number one competitor with militarily, with products. You know, we know that they're trying to make strategic moves in the Panama Canal with their military, through Greenland, all these things. Trump sees it. He's going like, listen, if we're going to remain the number one in the United States, and listen, we have a far better government than China does, then we need to make strategic moves. And one of them is tariffs. China is the number 2 holder of America's debt. And on top of that, we have a huge trade deficit with them, billions and billions of dollars every year. Why are we allowing this? We could stop it. We've surrendered to this. And so he's taking advantage of it. You just heard O'Leary say that, you know what, China's not fair. But we've been weak. So now we finally have a leader that, quite frankly, Xi Jinping is going to have to deal with, and he's going to have to be fair, or he is going to suffer consequences, and his country, period. Yep. We are no longer going to be suffering. We're the ones that have been suffering, not them. Trump says, you know what? No longer.
No longer. Do you regret your vote?
I
don't. No, I don't. I mean, look at the men standing behind President Trump right now. These are co-workers.
Co-workers, yeah.
These are co-workers. They're part of the reason, not the only reason, but they're part of the reason why we have energy in this country. Electricity, because of coal.
And Biden was trying to wipe them out.
And
Democrats
Biden was trying to destroy every single one of their jobs. You see those men there? Biden and the Democrats want to destroy every single one of their jobs, their profession. Some of them have been in it for 20 plus years. And Joe Biden, the Democrats want to destroy them. And President Trump said, no, we're going to make sure you can thrive, because we should be energy independent. We shouldn't be depending and waiting on China or any other nation to help us with our energy sources, to help us get out of whatever it is that we're in. Listen to President Trump, because he's talking about the tariffs here.
And for those of you that want to know the tariffs, you've been hearing about tariffs with taking in almost $2 billion a day in tariffs. $2 billion a day. And we're doing very well. And we're doing very well in making, I call them tailored deals, not off the rack. These are tailored, highly tailored deals. Right now, Japan is flying here to make a deal. South Korea is flying here to make a deal, and others are flying here. I mean, my only problem is I'm not sure I have enough. We're going to have to use those great law firms, I think, to help us with that. But we're going to probably do that, actually. We're going to use them, and we're getting them for the right price because we need a lot of talent. We have a lot of countries coming in that want to make deals.
They want to make deals. They're flying in. They're coming to the United States of America to talk to President Trump to say, what can we do to make this work? What can we do? And I agree with Kevin O'Leary. Make it 400%. Make it 400%. Have China bend the knee. Right? We can do this. I think everyone watching, I'm looking in the comments again. Do you stand with President Trump in doing what he's doing here? Or do we stand with China? I don't stand with the Demoncrats because the Demoncrats stand with China. And they don't even hide it. They're not even bashful about it. And it's mainly because of their disdain for President Trump. They can't stand President Trump. And even before President Trump was doing the tariffs. Now, he talked about doing the tariffs multiple times before. He talked about it. There's no secret. And now that he's keeping his word. See, politicians, they're not supposed to keep their words. Politicians are supposed to come in after they've told everyone that they're going to do X, Y, Z to make your life better and don't do it. You're not supposed to do it. According to the Rhinocrats, Dan Crenshaw and the rest of them, right? And then the same thing, Adam Schiff, the Demoncrats. You're not supposed to do what you told the people you're going to do. But here President Trump is doing that very thing. And then you get people like this young man. He's happy about it. He's a coal miner as well.
It's been, a little bit rough, but, with this executive orders that President Trump has signed, it's great impact. For the impact will be great as I can continue to work in the industry, which I love. I've been a coal miner now for nearly 20 years. And the president was correct when he said that you can't just take a coal miner and give him another career. Many of us would not want to do that. We love our beautiful, clean coal. We need to be focused more on coal innovation and less on coal elimination. For our energy needs and security, coal is the most reliable and economical fuel for the electric power generation. We don't have to choose one fuel source over another. We are using enough electricity that we will need all forms of energy, especially in the AI future. These executive orders will also bring good paying jobs to workers. We've lost about 45,000 coal mining jobs since 2011. And for every coal miner, there are 10 other jobs that support them. So think of the hundreds of thousands of jobs that we lost that we can now be given back.
Now they're coming back. The jobs are coming back. But just like a good Demoncrat, they get someone to come out and lie about the jobs returning, which brings it to Governor Whitmer, Gretchen Whitmer. They don't have a problem lying. You know what? How do I say this? We live in a world where the lying is becoming so normal. So when you hear her lying in this clip that I'm going to play for you, none of you are going to be like, oh my goodness, I can't believe she's saying this. Why? Because we become so accustomed to them lying. You're going to hear a lie. I just played President Trump with the coal miners. I just played a coal miner. And this goes right along with the auto industry. The same thing with the auto industry. The auto industry actually came out saying that, look, because of President Trump's tariffs, that we're having to hire more people and we're actually having to have people work a third shift because of President Trump's tariffs. So this means business is booming for the auto industry. But again, like a good Demoncrat, she's going to come on here and she's going to lie to everybody. And no one's going to be shocked. No one's going to be like, well, Okay, I hear what you're saying. And a lot of Democrats go, because they know that she's lying. Well, there might be some truth to what she's saying. Y'all have heard that before, right? There might be some truth, right? Because she's trying to get a point across, or she's talking about a possible future, but she doesn't talk about it as if it is a possible future. She's bringing this information as if it's factual information, as if it's actually happening, when the coal industry, the auto industry are saying the opposite of what she's saying.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. These last few days have been really tough for Michigan. 20% of our economy is tied to the auto industry, which depends on a steady flow of goods from our largest.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can, because I know the audio is a little weird on this, because it was recorded with 2 stereo inputs.
And closest trading partners. We're home to the busiest international border crossing in North America. More than 10,000 vehicles carrying parts and materials cross the bridge between Detroit and Windsor every weekday. We're already seeing the impacts of tariffs. Auto companies are stockpiling parts and laying off workers.
Shannon,
What's she talking
we
about?
just played. You know what? I'm telling you, just last week, the beginning of Friday, Saturday, over the weekend even, there was a whole bunch of auto workers from different auto plants was talking about how they're having to hire more people.
Yep, and add more shifts.
And here she is, like I just told y'all, she's blatantly lying. She got her talking points, and she's out there pushing these lies out there. And a whole bunch of radical, stupid liberals hear her saying this. And for them, in their mind, that she's speaking facts. See, liberals are never going to go back and fact check the nonsense that she's saying. And they know this. No one is fact checking her in real time when she was saying this nonsense.
Suppliers are facing higher costs and delaying expansions. Dealerships are forced to raise prices by up to $15,000 amid slowing sales.
So when Joe Biden was trying to push everyone into an EV vehicle, and then they gave a $7,000 tax credit, if I remember correctly, don't hold me to it. Guess what happened to the price of the vehicle? The price of the vehicle went up $7,000. What President Trump is doing is going to force these other countries and these companies to either build in America or remove the tariffs that they have applied to America if you want to sell in America. We're the biggest consumer on planet Earth of all of these products. We're the biggest consumers on planet Earth. We control it. If we stop buying it, they go away. And they know this.
And since every single auto job supports 3 others in the community, the impact is being felt by all of us, including small businesses across my state.
At what point did the Demoncrats care about small businesses when they shut down just about every single small business in the country after 2020? When did they start caring about small businesses?
Economists have pointed out that these tariffs represent the largest tax increase in nearly 60 years, costing families an average of $1,900. And if you're planning on having a cup of coffee, pumping gas, getting your groceries, buying clothes for your kids, or just simply meeting a friend for a drink, every one of those transactions is going to cost more because of tariffs.
This woman lies like she's a rug.
She lies like a rug.
She lies as if she is a rug.
You know what, Will? And that is facts. You know why? Because just like any time a Democrat opens up their mouth, Will, we go say, let's look into this.
Let's look into it.
And I uncovered this beautiful article by The Hill from November of 2022. It read, Greta Whitmer's auto job race to the bottom. It says, Gretchen Whitmer wants to be known for creating jobs in Michigan's all-imported auto industry. In October of 2022, she proudly declared that since taking office, we've announced 30,000 auto jobs and counting, but announced is different from created. And she's walking back earlier claims that she has overseen actual job growth. Worse off, Will, listen to this. She's ignoring that her actions to spend taxpayer money on electric vehicle production are helping to kill the very auto jobs she claims to care so much about.
So she killed the jobs.
She did. In her 4 years that she presided over the state, there's been 3 big layoffs at GM, Ford, and Stellantis. In August, 2 months after getting a $100 million state subsidy to hire 3,030 blue-collar workers to build what? EVs, Ford had to let go 3,000 white-collar workers.
So now these jobs are coming back, not because of her, but because of President Trump and the tariffs. She doesn't want to acknowledge it. And of course, the only reason why she's out here spewing these lies now is because President Trump hosted that beautiful event with the coal miners and talking about how jobs are coming back to America. So she has to go out there and lie.
I mean,
trying to say just the opposite, but she crushed jobs.
Yep.
Why are they still voting her in?
Why? Because they believe her lies.
What is wrong with you people? Do you know someone in Michigan? Can y'all share them this video? Because I want to know what's wrong with you people.
Yep.
Am I talking to people like in California? What's wrong with you people?
But you know what? I think auto workers know. I believe if honestly, to me, Will, if these companies are shutting down more people, you know why it is? It's because her state is not auto worker friendly. It's not friendly to these manufacturing plants. I guarantee it. I'm probably saying, you know what? We're going to grow, but we are not going to give Whitmer the benefit of our business. And they're taking out because you know why? She cared more about EV and taking lobbyists and activists' money than she did about the auto workers and jobs here in America.
She crushed jobs. And then when they were trying to force everyone into an EV, and then we're going to get a government tax break credit, like I was telling y'all. They're going to give a...
Will's having a hard time.
I think it's there. They were going to give a $7,000, if I'm not mistaken, a $7,000 tax credit, like I was saying a second ago. And every vehicle went up $7,000. So it prevented people from buying the vehicles then. The $7,000 tax credit was a bonus to the auto industry, to the dealerships.
Right. It gave them money. They raised their
That's
prices.
all it was. They raised the prices $7,000.
$7,000.
They took that as a bonus. Plus, you still need to put your down payment.
Yep.
So that was all a bonus for them.
But you know what the wonderful thing about Trump is? You know what he said? He said, I'm going to let you claim your taxes on your auto car, and I don't care what you buy. He says, if you want to buy EV, buy one.
As long as it is an American-made vehicle, you will get a tax break on it.
Doesn't matter
Let's
what kind.
go. Gas,
That's taking
electric.
care of everybody, isn't it?
Gas, electric.
Yep.
As long as it's American-made, you get a tax break.
He's
I mean,
giving you the option.
who thinks of stuff like this? I mean, it's really, when you really think about it, it's like a no-brainer. What an incentive to get people to buy American-made products. We're going to give you a tax break for it. I mean, my goodness.
Have no brains. They care more
think
about
about it. No taxes on tips. Doesn't seem like that. I'm like, wow, that's such a brilliant idea. Like, why didn't anyone think about that before? No taxes on overtime. Another brilliant idea. This man, something's wrong with this man because he keeps coming up with these brilliant ideas that really, like, if we think about it, it's like common sense.
And you know,
same thing. No taxes on Social Security.
Yeah, and
I mean, really?
Trump knows, and he said it before. I wonder where these breaks, these initiatives, who's getting paid? I guarantee she was getting paid. Some of that money the state got went into her pocket for pushing such an incentive. I guarantee it.
Yep.
Because that's how Democrats are.
Yep. I want y'all to listen to President Trump. He was talking about pencil neck. Or I guess in this case, he's calling them watermelon head. This is the first time I heard him refer to pencil neck as watermelon head. But it's still fitting.
And that's with all of the...
Here, watch this. Is it not going to play for me? No, I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's not playing for me. I mean, it'll play, but it's not. People need to be able to see the demonstration. I'm not sure why it's not playing for me. Did we get there?
I'd say, how could that big fat face stand on a neck that looked like this finger? How could it? It was the weirdest thing. It's a mystery. Nobody can understand it. But he's one of the most dishonest human beings I've ever seen. And, you know, how we can allow people like that to run in office is a shame, but we did. He was in charge of the witch hunt. You know, he was in charge of the fake witch hunt with Russia. It was a made-up story. Made up. Think of it. They make up a story. They know it's made up. It's gone on for a year and a half, 2 years. Russia. I knew nothing about it. The only thing I knew was that I taxed the pipeline that I told you about, that I put all sorts of sanctions and everything else. They never had a problem like they had with me. But it was Russia, constant, as a method of, what they did is that was the complaint about why she lost an election, because crooked Hillary was expected to win the election. But they didn't see what we saw. We saw the biggest crowds in history gathering, only superseded by the crowds we just had. But here's a guy that goes out, and he goes to an intelligence hearing, or whatever you might call it, and it's supposed to be secret. He'd walk out. He'd either make a call off the record, just a crooked Adam, shifty Schiff. He's a shifty Adam. Or he'd just go out blatantly and have a news conference. And because it had to do with me and my family, he'd go out and have a news conference. And he said, no, you've got to remember, he knows it's a hoax because he made it up with crooked Hillary. So he knows it's a hoax because we're dealing with human beings on the other side. He'd say, Donald Trump Jr., the son of the President of the United States, will spend many years in prison because of what he's done with Russia. Now, think of that statement on a human basis. I have a young son, who is being told that he's going for prison on something he doesn't even know what they're talking about. He said, Dad, I don't know what's going on. They keep talking about I'm involved with Russia. I don't know anything about Russia, I swear to you, Dad. And yet, Adam Schiff goes out and makes a statement about a hoax that he made up, that he knows is false. How bad a human being do you have to be? They put my son and my family through that kind of trauma. These are bad people. These are sick degenerates. And I used to be much nicer to them. I gave them the benefit of the doubt, but I've just seen too much. They make up a story about Russia. It's a hoax. And eventually, now they've all admitted it was a hoax. On to the next one. That's Russia. But they know it's a hoax. And they say about a young man that he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison because of what he's done with Russia. He knows it's a hoax. How bad do you have to be to have that happen to your son? And, you know, it has a bad effect on a family, a bad effect. You know, you okay, Don? I am, dear, but...
That's what I don't understand. Where's Pam Bondi? I mean, when people like Adam Pencilneck Schiff or Watermelon Head Schiff, when they do stuff like this and taxpayer dollars were spent over this Russia hoax, where's Pam Bondi? I'm seeing more and more people every single day getting upset about what Pam Bondi's not doing. And even Kash Patel. And you know who we're not talking about, Shannon, that joined the team?
Who?
Dan Bongino.
Yeah, he's been real quiet too. But I don't.
I mean, maybe they're just getting ready to do a major sting.
Yeah.
And that could be it too. Look, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt here. I really am. But man, there's some low-hanging fruit. Get one of them. And I think the reason why we're all like that right now is because of Doge. Just to be honest with you. Doge did this to us. because they're being completely transparent, showing the corruption and telling everybody else. That's the reason why they're protesting at Tesla right now. All right, everybody, that's it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, I have some other information that I want to share, but you're going to have to come over to my Culture Wars show. And if I can, I'll put this up on the screen for you to show you what I'm talking about. If you go to my website, right there, what you see. And right there at the top, you see that row right there? It shows all the shows that I do throughout the day, Monday through Friday. The one that says Culture Wars. I'm going to encourage you to go there. If you can't make it to that one, you'll be able to see me in the last one, Patriot TV. You'll be able to see me on that one. The one that's all the way, the one in the middle, there's one I just do on Thursdays. But if you look here, Monday through Friday, you see the shows. I'm encouraging you all to go to Culture Wars. Set a mobile alert for 1 hour from now. Set a mobile alert on your phone. Just go in there 1 hour from now, have it triggered, because I have some information that is just breaking news that is coming out about China.
Yeah, and if you like communities that you chat in, that is a great chat community.
Oh man, it's explosive.
You will really like
it's
that
explosive.
platform.
I mean, everyone engages
so much in the chat.
So come on over, and also let me know in the chat that you said you came to the feed because of Will Johnson. It's live. There's no breaks. It's constantly going all day long. So Culture Wars 1 hour from now. If you don't remember how to get there, just go to my website, click on Culture Wars, and it'll take you directly to it. 1 hour from now. God bless everyone. See you over there.